TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, you name it. These are the platforms that heavily influenced us for the past decade now, probably even 2 decades. No, this video is not going to be about how you should avoid all of these because it's quite frankly impossible. There has been a cultural shift in home decoration, home design, and it needs to be talked about. And a lot of us are not talking about how much we end up seeing the exact same aesthetic over and over again. Hi guys, my name is Newman. Welcome back to my channel, New Inside Art. So let's get into a few points where I feel like we need to radicalize ourselves in order to really create the home that we want. So the first point I want to talk about is the post-COVID dilemma. So as capitalism still exists, we need to think about the production of things, and homes are a big one because we are at either a shortage or a mass production of it. There's no in between. The same cheap builds, the same cookie cutter layouts, a vortex of suburbia. I'm talking about vivarium style. If you know, you know. The materials and addition of the furniture that is required in order to, live in a home is at a rising cost. And it's not seeming to stop anytime soon. As a result, it's actually really hard to be original, guys. We buy the same stuff without even realizing, and we are kind of settling with what is already there. According to Financial Times, US President Donald Trump said he is slapping 10% tariffs on imported timber, lumber, 25% on duties in kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, upholstered furniture, and this is basically a huge assault on us because as home decor fanatics, what the hell are we going to do? There are various factories driving up furniture costs since post-COVID, and almost none of them have seen a potential decrease over time. This includes rising raw material costs, and even the labor challenges and labor shortages of wage increases have further strained the industry around home decor, home design, interior design, and 10% of furniture retailers identified price increases from inflation as significant concern for their business. My husband and I bought this home not too long ago. We were very fortunate in order to get into a new build, but I tend to find myself in a creative block most of the time because although this house is brand new, I don't have to think about major renovations and just major labor around making the house nice. I find it hard to really curate a personal style. In our previous home, I made the mistake of buying everything cheap, everything that was needed now. I almost ended up selling everything instantly because they were worn, they were cheap, my style changed over time, and they weren't timeless as I thought they would be. The post-COVID inflation is a real thing, and a lot of the times people think that they can't decorate their homes, and most of the time that is not the case. Sometimes you really have no choice but to go to your local home department store, whether it's Home Depot, Rona, or even just IKEA. I'm sure if we had the choice to shop at CB2, West Elm, Crate and Barrel, and choose the top-notch quality furniture, we would all do it. These companies, these massive corporations, not really looking at the taste of their build and mostly just finding something that they can make a quick buck on. This might seem like doomsday, but there are a few solutions to this. I now try to gravitate towards multifunctional pieces, and anybody can do that easily. Whether it's a console that can be a desk, whether it's a couch that can turn into 2 action chairs, anything you can get your hands on that can be timeless and they can be reused in case you move or in case you want to change up your style. In the end, if you do want to keep that longevity in your home, quality over quantity is always better. So try to mix and match with vintage, newer pieces, functionality, practicality, and you'll be ahead of most people who think they're stuck when they're decorating their house. The next thing I want to talk about is the hyper-fixation on content creators. Content creators, influencers, they unintentionally make people feel like they don't have a nice home. Endless makeovers, overbuying trends, constant judgment of what's in and out. It's good to stay informed, but if you are kind of brain rotting yourself, constantly looking at the next new thing, then you're either gonna spend so much money or you're just not gonna have the courage to start something of your own. As I was trying to stylize my current room, I'm trying to turn it into an office, I found myself in a creative block once again because I felt as though offices had to have a certain look. And I feel like the reason why I haven't seen many inspo photos from my favorite content creators or just online going around and being discussed as a trend or having some sort of popularity. My brain automatically associated this pink color with unfamiliarity and just kind of killed my creative buzz. So I guess the point of this is you need to get used to the idea of getting uncomfortable. Being glued to our technology devices, we forget that most inspiration actually comes from tangible experiences like traveling, visiting someone's home, going to a museum. All these experiences actually create what you're your style is in your own home and how you are going to prep your interior design, your home decor, or whatever it is you are going to apply in your home lifestyle. These are literally how we got influenced in the beginning. We are currently seeing, these past architects, these past homes that are not being reproduced today. And where do you think they got that inspiration from? We have geniuses like Frank Lloyd Wright. We have the Eames that just drew a simple layout on a piece of paper and gave it life. My advice to you is to really challenge yourself. Immerse in the experience of home decorating without having to rely on these content creators. Visit markets, visit antique stores, visit other places of the world. Try to have that sense of flexibility when you are thinking about your next project. And if you do find a content creator that you are heavily influenced by, really analyze them and try to find the authenticity behind their work. I honestly and truthfully believe that there are socially and algorithm approved home decor items, and these are reproduced more and more for you guys to consume and to feel like you have a beautiful home. What does it mean to have a beautiful home? Think about it. You might think it has a bunch of wood, a lot of expensive fabric, a lot of LED lighting, a huge layout, something that honestly seems unachievable for several classes for that matter. The more you give into these ideas, the more they're going to be replicated by these companies in order for you to essentially lose your money. And it's very hard to avoid these things because I see the replication of these beiges, these boucle, curved furniture, arches, and they are very subtle. Social media has created a formula of how things should look. And when it comes to homes, it's very easy for someone to just talk about a trend or push an idea. And these are all just opinions at the end of the day. The obsession with aesthetic actually makes you have no personality in your home because you are so focused on this aesthetic. I'm serious. Like, we have people trying to make a builder grade home into some sort of Victorian style without even thinking what materials a Victorian home has. You just have this mumble jumble and it doesn't really look real in the end. You have to ask yourself, is this a home that requires all this for my needs? The importance of designing a home, it always comes with storytelling, and everybody's story is different. As cheesy as it sounds, we all have different stories compared from you to me to anybody else. These are how we are shaped and what we tend to choose in our day-to-day lives. And when it comes to home decor, the furniture we choose, it's not always going to be on a trend, a popular home decor show, and that's okay. I feel like what I'm trying to say here is that from post-COVID inflation to the hyper-fixation of content creators, at the end of the day, home decor, furniture, interior design, it all stems from a business. You are always going to have that next thing come up, and the massive influence of these items that you see on TikTok, Instagram, and all social media platforms will eventually die at some point. Take a more reflective approach at styling your home. This can involve talking with your friends, having people over, grabbing advice from a stranger. Homes are now sets instead of sanctuaries. What are you coming back to every day? It's not going to be a showroom. I hate to break it to you. It's going to be somewhere where you can be your true authentic self. And you can easily distinctify what a true authentic home is versus somebody who is just trying to hop on the next popular wave. All right, guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you really enjoyed this, and I hope you get to bring this into your next project or even into your next journal, because I've talked about a few things that makes everyone's house look the same, and the problem, it has to do with aesthetic, and all these intertwine very easily. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I talked about my home journey a bunch of times throughout this video, so if you are curious, actually go through my playlists and my recent home updates. I'm actually trying to transform this generic home into something that is more cozy and more comfortable, and I would love for you guys to hop on and create that story with me and, kiki together about what is the next home decor trend and what is the next interior design trend. And I also have other videos where I talk about interior design tips. There are videos like that too. So I'm definitely going to see you next time, because there is no excuse. I have a video for each topic, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.